Ian mentioned those storms. Images that have come out of last night's storms are impressive in many areas. This video from North St. Paul showing electrical wires sparking and lighting up in the wind and the rain. The viewer who took this footage tells us everyone stayed safe. The power even stayed on, which is surprising.
And then there's this video from Lonsdale, south of the city, showing a tree snapping from all of the strength of those winds. Part of the tree still standing this morning, though. Crazy to see how powerful the winds were at the height of this storm. And our friends in western Wisconsin got a good dose of those storms as well. This is footage from New Richmond. A look at the wind pushing the rain sideways at times. Those winds were in that 60-mile-an-hour range for that part of our viewing area last night. And as a result, a lot of power outages from last night's storms, too. At one point overnight, more than 140,000 Xcel Energy customers were without electricity. So we want to bring in Fox 9's Rob Olson. He is in Richfield on a street where the power came back just a couple of hours ago. It was still a warm day out there, so tough to be without AC on a day like today. And crews were still working on restoring Sunday night's outages when last night's storms added to the problem. So, Rob, how many are still out there without power right now?
Well, you know, if you look at when we talked to Xcel Energy earlier today, we asked them, you know, where were you at getting that power restored from the Sunday night storms before you just added to the pile there? And they said they were about 80 to 90% of the customers without power from Sunday restored before they had to then tackle this. And again, at one point, more than 300,000 people, customers affected here between the two. And so, you know, they have to prioritize basically the typical priority, and they're using that today in terms of their plan of attack, is to go for the outages that affect the most number of people. So fixing a line restores the greater number of people at once and then work your way down from there. But there were still some scattered individual outages from Sunday night, and so they're trying to also prioritize those people who've been without power the longest all at the same time to kind of keep moving here. And they're moving quickly. We followed some crews around today, and you know, you respond to where they are, and then they're wrapping up by the time you get there. And again, the crew was here this afternoon and took off at about 3 o'clock to keep moving on. So they're moving through it quickly here, trying to tackle these as fast as possible.
Yeah, they have a lot of crews that are ready and moving throughout the metro. These back-to-back storms, that created a lot of work, but it also means that crews were brought in from out of state to prepare as we got ready for these storms to come in. So tell us a little bit about the lead up to this storm.
Yeah, and that is sort of the good and the bad of that, having the back-to-back storms. Is that the bad is that it just adds more work to it, but the good is that you already had people here dealing with one storm that could quickly jump on dealing with the second storm last night that again had an even greater impact than the one from Sunday night. So we talked to Xcel Energy today about the planning for this, and they mentioned that they began actually planning for this late last week. Here's what they had to say.
We were working on resourcing late last week, and we made the call to bring in supplemental crews on Sunday. So that allowed everybody to get here Monday, make a very big impact on the event from Sunday night, and then be readily available to respond this morning.
And Rob, a lot of people reconnected today, but some are going to be waiting into later this week.
Yeah, you know, some of the outages, you know, when you go on the Xcel outage map, and it shows the estimated time of reconnecting, and some show tomorrow night, some show Thursday night. Xcel Energy said their plan is to get it all back by Thursday evening, but some of those, again, it could be the worst case scenario. Obviously, they try to get them quicker than that, but again, as you start getting down to these individual homes, it might take a while to get to some of those.
All right. Thanks, Rob. A lot of people still waiting to get power back on, but they are moving very quickly. And all in all, could have been a lot worse considering the power of those storms.
If you're one of those people, it's never fast enough. Thanks, Rob.